Of what we need for the engineering side of this, get this up and functioning. We got the unit already in the truck, so that was the heavy part. And so now we have about 3 or 4 different issues on the engineering side. I wanted to kind of give you a better idea. This, of course, is inside the utility box. And the first situation is on the water. The old system had the water. We just had a quick connect here from the hose from the Carmel water tower, and then we regulated the water through here. And then this is how it entered into the old system, through the top. Now this system, the new system, is all self-contained. So the water would go in here, and then the air comes out here. And this is an 18-liter tank, and we're consuming about 8 or 9 liters. So the extra pressure forces the water up here, and we have check valves inside this. So the question of the day, first question is, do I need to regulate the water again? Can I just take all this out, or can I just and I don't even need all this, or should I just keep this because it's already regulated, just so we get this system up and working? So that's part of the water. The other part of the water is, this is our heater core to keep the water warm in the wintertime. And then we have the 2 hoses coming off here. So the hoses we'll need to extend those from here. You can see it. That'd be the intake of the water. That's the outtake of the water. That keeps the water in this tank warm. And then if you get down there, you'll see the 2 smaller. There's one, and there's one, and there's the other one. That's the water that's inside this tank that will come up through here to actuate the reaction. So the 2 water situations that we need help on is to take the warm water and keep the water in here warm, and then also, this is self-contained, but do I need to use this kind of regulation on the water here, or can I just put like a Schrader valve or something between the 2 smaller hookups? So the water is the first issue we need. Because if we don't need this, we'll just take it out because it takes up room for this model. So the water will come in here, fill at the bottom. When you're doing your volumes calculations, it'll come up here, and there's about that much space, about 1.5 inches of space. Checkout valves in here. So the best way to do the water, that's the first issue we need to get straightened out. Second item is in the lid itself. We have 2 holes, one for a thermocouple, which we have already existing, and the other is for a pop-off valve. Now this system is rated about 30 to 35 psi, but I'm checking that. But we'll need some kind of a pop-off valve just in case the reaction goes wild. I don't want to pop this lid off, I'd rather just have a pop-off valve here. We already have releases for hydrogen in the lid, which we've had that since the get-go. So that's the second issue, is pop-off valve, thermocouple on top of there, which I don't think should be too difficult. The next issue, let's swing it this way. The next issue is hooking up the hydrogen. So this is the port for the H2 right here, and this was the one we have on this system right now. So we took it off, and it'll hook up right here. So we'll need to connect this together. Probably put a cap of some kind on there, and then some kind of a 90 or whatever to hook this into here. This is for the purge gas, because it purges right here, comes this way, and this also will go through this port or a port. So you don't need to purge the gas in here, you'll need to purge the gas inside here. So you have 2 hookups, H2, and usually we have always used argon because it's cheapest for the purge. So that's another thing that needs to be done, is just the physical connections. Now one thing kind of unique about this is that Mike came up with a system where I can slide this entire assembly from here all the way to here. So that gives us about 6, probably close to 7 inches extra space that I can push this thing all the way over here if we want. Now it looks like to me it's easier to leave it where it is at this end, because my connections would be easier. But the option is there if we want to push this tank over, we can just slide it over to here. Now once we have the distance correct, then all Mike has to do is just weld this plate, bar stock, and everything is set. And then the way you lift it out of the tank, you have 4 bolts, 2 and 2 bolts. Undo those, you can lift the tank up. So that's not a problem. So this is the question of exactly where do you want this tank to be? You want it to be here, or over here, or somewhere in between. This is as far to this side as it goes. We have 2 bolts right here that take the frame to the bolt it into the frame right here. So that's what limits us here, and what limits us here is this thing in the middle. So we have the water issue is probably the big one. Hooking this up, pop-off valves in here, and just the electronics, of course, which we already have there. And then the heater. A question on this particular model: do I even need that heater anymore? Can I just run the the hose in here because this is a self-contained unit? Or do I want to keep it in there because the final version will have an electronic control module, all this in one little space, and I need to heat up the box. So that's a question if I need that today or not. So we'll do first things first. So I think that's everything on my list. Water, refill, core heater, hosing, the lid, H2 connector, purge gas, and that's it. So that's where we need help on the engineering side. It's already in here. I think they did a good job mounting this. So just where do you want to put it? I mean, how far over? How do you want to do the water, regulated or not? How you want to do the heaters? If we even need that for this version or not. And then the Mark will need some of the things for thermocouple, pop-off valve, and then hook up H2, hook up purge gas. So I don't think it's anything that hasn't been done in the history of engineering before, but we want to get this thing up and running as quickly as we can. So we'll send it off to you and make it as a link on a YouTube and see what you think. Thanks.